Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 64th episode of Rules of Villainy, where three new trading card game players quest and challenge their way to the competitive top tables and discuss their opinions on Disney's Lorcana. This evening, as always, we'll be covering the latest news in Lorcana, answering your questions, and going over the latest developments in the meta game. I'm Villain Vince, joined as always by my two co-hosts, Villain Andy and the mayor of Lorcana himself, Brad. How we doing?
Doing pretty good. I got a magic trick for y'all.
Oh, yeah?
You want to see a magic trick?
Yes. Let's see it.
All right. So this is a regular Lorcana card, right?
Yep.
You guys can verify that. It's got that crisp sound. All right.
Whoa.
Now it's bigger, right?
Yeah, that's really cool.
Bigger. Yep.
It's like much
For the
bigger.
audio listeners, he's holding up a Reckless Mulan all the way up to super close to Mulan.
Yeah, super.
We lost Andy.
Wow. We can't
What's
even
going on
see him.
here?
All right. Well, I guess this. Oh, wow.
Oh,
I told you it got bigger.
now he's holding a super-sized Reckless Mulan. Giant card. I think it's
Charging ahead.
I
Is that
believe
an official one?
I believe that this is the first ever official giant card in the hands of a content creator in North America.
Oh,
This
that's
is
a tall.
unofficial
That's a tall.
Disney trade. I don't think they gave the giant cards out to like Liam and JDZ and them when they got to reveal them at Gen Con.
Yeah.
No, because they hung up on the wall, and I imagine it'd probably be pretty hard to like
Steal them.
take that.
We
take
tried.
that home.
Lots of people tried. But this Mulan card was given out in Europe to a content creator who I now have to scroll because this was won by my wife, not actually.
So it's not in
by
our
me.
show notes. So this is not prepared.
I was not prepared. It is Lucy, Lorcanusi, Lucy from Instagram. We'll have her link in the description. Kirsten won this from a contest from her. It was shipped all the way from the EU.
Wow.
It made
to
it
the US. Yes.
intact.
Very much intact. It is very nice. We love it. It is awesome. I think this
You know
is
what this
means?
means?
It's the first one. It's
And,
the first
and you know
official
what?
one.
And you know what? If you would like it too, you can win it a week
No,
from
no, no,
now.
And
No
you know what this
shot.
means?
No shot.
I feel like this is a sign. Like it's like the universe is coming together. The planets are in alignment. We know Andy loves Ruby
No,
Steel.
don't say it.
Now-
Brian.
Andy, you got to play Ruby Steel. Why wouldn't you? You
If
got
you-
that Mulan.
If you can
It's
get
beautiful.
me
You can even put it
59,
in your deck.
if you can get me 59 more Ruby Steel cards of this
It's a bad
size, I'll shuffle them up and deal. We'll need to talk to a sleeve sponsor about
I guess-
getting
Yeah,
sleeves
that'd
that
be-
size.
I guess
Well, and honestly, for Andy, he'll want to make sure they're double sleeved.
Yeah,
too,
double
so,
sleeved. We need
perfect
so-
fits.
sometimes
so
triple
he'll need
sleeves.
some. So he'll
But
need
technically,
some,
It
giant.
doesn't have the official Lorcana back on it, so it's not actually official. Unfortunately,
They wouldn't be able to see it because it'd be in a sleeve. Just saying.
Well,
Man. Yeah,
that's
mhm.
true.
They wouldn't
But
know.
I think,
How could they know?
that means technically the
They can't
Ursula. Like, stop that! You're memeing now. That means the Palace Heist and all those cards, the Jafar and Ursula decks are legal because they can't see the back of the sleeves or the back of the
but
actual
they're
card.
they're
Right?
altered on the front.
Yeah, the card on the front
I'm-
is not from a legal set. This is.
Let me
this is-
continue down this path of crazy. All right.
All right.
guys?
Well,
Well,
we
go
lost
for it, go
Brad,
for it.
Vince. Do you want to continue on with the shows? Since he went
Let's
down
go,
that
let's-
sus path.
Let's hear what.
Sure. I don't. You know what? It's fine. Let's move on to Underworld news. Actually, there's no news, so just
Is there-
kidding. It's been pretty slow news because we're in the midst of Fabled, and honestly, the
Yeah.
news is going to come. Oh, it's going to be rapid fire. We're going to barely be able to keep up with it in just a few weeks' time, anyway. But we do have some upcoming events. The first one, I believe, yeah, we don't even need to talk about this Glass City event,
That's
right?
3
Andy?
weeks
It's
in a
not-
row.
It's not really
Three-
that important. I
3
don't think
weeks
so.
in
So
a
in fact-
row. Come on now.
Brad,
No,
tell us a little bit about
it
this
is
Glass City event.
super.
Which actually, if folks are listening, they should be driving there, heading there now, getting there, getting ready for it, or getting prepared for it. Right?
Yeah,
Right?
exactly. This upcoming weekend, tomorrow, if you're listening to this on drop day in Farmington Hills, Michigan, we are having a 13K weekend, and 8K on Saturday, which is now currently over 86. It's at 86 people right now, and we're still 3 days away. It's going to be huge. On Sunday, we're having a 5K as well, and there's a kids event sprinkled in there as well, which I believe is free. But it's going to be super exciting. If you don't have the means to make it there at the time that you're listening to this we're streaming it, so please tune in at the Legends of the Inkwell on Twitch. I got that confirmed. It is Dakota's channel, and we are going to be streaming it all weekend long. Can't wait to do that with Luke from Maelstrom, from Team Maelstrom, I should say, JD So Shiny, Dakota himself from Legends of the Inkwell, and there's plenty of great players there as well. Katie, who you guys all know from Keepers Inn, we all know her. She was kind enough to have us on her show very early on in the Villainy. She's actually taking off the headset and playing in the event for the first time in a long time.
Let's go,
so that's going to be
Katie.
exciting to see. We're rooting for her, and it's just going to be a great weekend overall. I can't wait to drive up there and give it to you guys. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah, we're excited to see you cast, sir. And then not this weekend, but the following weekend, we've got the Impact Gaming Center Fabled Set Champions, Rules of Villainy, Elsa, Spirit of Winter Enchanted Extravaganza on Saturday, October 4th. And the way we've talked about this a little bit here, but we will be having Andy and myself in the caster booth, potentially maybe Brad as well, helping us out there. And then the first place winner there will get an enchanted Elsa Spirit of Winter from the first chapter. And we're going to have tons and tons of prizes. Isn't that right, Andy?
Yes, that is correct.
And we're going to utilize our patented, trademark, copyrighted ticketing system.
All the good
Absolutely.
stuff.
We've done it all actually this time. Now we've crossed all the T's. Trademarked, copyrighted, patented, you name it, we've got it. And what prizes can they get from our ticketing system?
Oh my goodness. We've got Jafar Set Champs, we've got Hero Set Champs, we've got Scar Set Champs cards, we've got a Stitch banner, like the one you see behind me in the
Behind the flag.
behind the flag and behind all the
Yeah.
recording equipment.
Tinkerbell.
Tinkerbell is second place.
Second
All
place.
those others are raffles that I mentioned so far. Obviously, first place is the Enchanted Elsa. Other raffle prizes include Hero Set Champs playmats. We have autographed Baymax and Cusco promo cards.
North
from
American
Continentals.
Dentals, yeah.
Enchanted cards, an Enchanted Alice. We have a Chinese Hades, foil Hades. We've got a ginormous list more of Set Champs, Enchanted cards. We've got more playmats. The list just goes on and on. We'd be here all night.
Yep. So the link will be in the description below for how you can enroll, and you'll pay there. And I believe you can go to Impact's website now and actually prepay. I believe it's $35, right?
Correct.
$35. And so here's the thing. It's going to be the best event in the St. Louis region to come getting prepared for future Set Champs and the DLC in Milwaukee. So this is the place to be.
Absolutely.
So don't miss out. But if you can't make it, while as disappointing that it will be for us, you can right here on our YouTube channel watch the live stream. We'll be doing it all day, live streaming all the matches, and we're really excited to do so. And with that, let's move on to Constituents Corner with the mayor. Take it away. What's our first question?
All right, our first question from Solo Falcon asks, thoughts on RB doing, that's Ravensburger for the uninitiated, doing God packs in Lorcana. Each one would contain 2 enchanteds from each ink color. What is this? I I saw this asked, and I'm like, what does this mean?
Okay. So a god pack in other card games, and the best example I could give is Pokemon. If anyone likes Pokemon, you at least
heard
know.
of
Pokemon.
Yeah, you at least know like the basic Pokemon. So like Eevee, right? And
Yeah.
Eevee turns into like fire Eevee, water Eevee, electric Eevee, and then apparently after we stopped playing Pokemon, there was a bunch of other Eevees, right? So
Okay.
the pack, a god pack, is basically instead of getting like a bunch of commons, uncommons, rare, your foil, hooray! Every single card in the pack is the top rarity. It would be like getting all enchanteds, but they're all like everyone I've ever seen is like themed, like Eevee. So it's like Eevee and fire Eevee and water Eevee and you just get the max rarity of all of them in one single pack. So like the equivalent
So
would be like, if a pack was just filled with all of the enchanteds or something like that. But it wouldn't really be as thematic if it was just all of the enchanteds.
But I guess a more equivalent would be like like an Elsa pack that had all of the max rarities of the Elsas. So the cold foils and the epics.
Yeah, something like that.
And then it would finally like you would get the Elsa Spirit of Winter.
Yeah, the idea is that you like open the
Mhm.
pack and it's just like immediately different from what you're used to looking at, and it's like this thematic. They all match, and you just get like the best of all of them.
So it's like a collector pack in Magic. Like I just recently I bought the kind of like that. I understand what you're saying. Yours is
Yeah.
max rarity, but I don't play Magic. I don't know much about it. But when Final Fantasy came to it, I started buying packs, and I heard collector packs, and I bought a couple of those, and they're all foiled with the chance of like max rarity of certain cards, right? So
yeah, so those still have like specific slots in the pack. Imagine for
Okay.
Final Fantasy, they had the versions with like the number in the background, right?
yeah. Those are what I wanted.
So with, like, Final Fantasy 7 is obviously everyone's favorite. And so like imagine instead of having the normal like token and crappy cards in the back that are just regular foil and then like 2 slots for good ones. Imagine you open up the pack and it's just like all of the ones with the number 7 in the background, and they're all like the highest, surge foil rarity or whatever. It would be like it's not only are you getting like an amazing amount of good cards, just like an insane return on the pack, but
And it's just a
also,
random
like,
pack in like a
thematic.
box, right? You're not buying this pack specifically. It's just a random pack that you
Random one.
find.
That they just put together
Wow.
like this fun little Easter egg, probably one in every, there might be one or two in every like run of all of the cards or something like that.
Yeah, I was just reading about it right here on Reddit. The most
Number one
reliable
news source.
source.
Yeah.
Like how we both have that same joke primed and ready to go. But yeah, basically, so they're only found in Japanese Pokemon packs, apparently.
feel like
You
I-
can kind of find,
but I don't know.
well, it says a demigod pack, quote.
Oh,
is
wow.
something people started saying for the English 151 set. So I don't know. I'm not a Pokemon expert. My take on this is no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think as high as Enchanted. Mine, like as Andy started describing, I was like, they could do this with like epics or just all foils. Like an all foil pack, I think would be fun to open up. Even if it's not the most exciting cards. Like, hey, it's a little treat. And then top it off with like the rare plus all being epics or something. But or I don't know, maybe throw an Enchanted in there. I don't care. But as far as the example that Falcon included, of each one would contain 2 Enchanteds of each ink color. We'd have to have a lot of Enchanteds in the pool for
That'd be
like
insane.
it'd be absolutely insane, right? But
But it would be like 1 in a million packs, though, right? Like it would be super low rarity. I just think the thematics of it are what really, in my opinion, make it so special that you like again, the Eevee one is the biggest example I can see that you're opening all of the versions. Like you just completed the perfect Eevee collection of all of them.
My take on this is that I would much rather see Lorcana go versus. I mean, I get how fun that would be if you manage to get this pack or whatever and stuff. I mean, although we talk about internally like our own god packs getting 2 legendaries and enchanted, and that's probably pretty rare as is, and that's a pretty great pack to get. But I would much rather see Lorcana take the route of either Magic or even Star Wars Unlimited, where they have, Magic has the collector packs, which I think is great for the collector's market and stuff. Or, and I don't know exactly what Star Wars Unlimited calls them. It's like their hyperspace or whatever. They're basically kind of the collector's version of that game, except for instead of just being collector cards, they're higher rarity cards. So like a normal pack might have, think about it in Lorcana terms, a normal pack is going to have like, 2 rare slots, 3 uncommon slots. Maybe in this pack you get like, 6 uncommons, 3 rares or whatever and stuff. Like you get a higher rare, probably would be like rare and above is probably what you're really looking at. And so you would have more, foil slots, potentials for enchanted slots. And those packs then, are going to cost a premium, much in the same way that collectors packs in Magic cost more.
Yeah.
And those packs in
Take my money.
Lorcana pay more. That is the direction I would much rather see Lorcana take than the God pack route. That's my take.
I think of it like this. Think of it like a Easter egg pack, really. So like I don't even know that Pokemon like acknowledges that there's a thing such as God packs necessarily, but it's like Easter egg packs, right? Like what would you think if you found a completely verified source that opened like a double iconic pack, right? Like a pack that just had both iconics in it. And now you're like, oh smokes, that's a thing that can actually happen, right? Like, so it's like these Easter egg packs, what would you think? And sometimes, honestly, when I open packs, probably just random, but I sometimes think it's on purpose. I opened a pack today, 2 Wreck-It Ralphs. Both rares, 2 different Wreck-It Ralphs were the rares.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, that, it's the Wreck-It Ralph pack.
Yeah. I think it is I do like the idea of thematics though. And I do think that's something Lorcana could actually lean into in ways that, I mean, I don't even know that Magic or say Star Wars Unlimited could in the way that Pokemon does. Like, obviously it's not going to be the same as like the evolutions, but we have properties. So you could have a
franchise
Frozen
packs.
pack. Yeah, you could have, and that actually sounds pretty cool. And I could see them. And honestly, Ravensburger, contact us.
Pixar
we're
pack.
here all day with so
Pixar
many
packs.
ideas.
Pixar packs.
But yeah, so I wanted to get the name right, so I looked it up here. So when we said Magic calls them collector boosters, although like I said they're a little different. Star Wars Unlimited calls them Carbonite editions.
Yeah, it actually didn't matter. We cut all that out of the episode, Vince. Anywhere it said Star Wars Unlimited is just already cut out of the episode. So even this is going to get cut out of the episode.
All right, next question.
Yeah, next question from Paul, who is appreciative that we've answered so many questions from him. He's asking this time, now the PPG is over and it was our first CCQ. What are your thoughts on a CCQ event having automatic buys built into the structure based on non-CCQ events?
I don't know. Does anyone have a less hot take than mine?
No, let's hear your hot take.
Spit that hot fire.
Horrible. I am very, very much against it. I think it is just, I think it should be not allowed. I think Ravensburger is doing a disservice to all of the other people who qualify for Continentals by allowing an event where people can not only earn 1, but 2 buys in a 7-round event. So now you're playing in a 5-round event. You get 2 free wins. And like it's just, the events that you're winning these buys at, no offense to them, great stores, great players. I have friends and teammates who have played in them and stuff. 12 people, 20 people even. I mean, if you're winning a 20-person event and you're getting a buy, like it doesn't seem fair that someone can go and potentially farm smaller events, collect 2 buys to an event, and have that large of an advantage on something that is a CCQ, right? Like this gets you 2 Continentals. It just, Nah, I don't think it should be allowed.
So let's rewind a little bit to unpack Paul's question. Can somebody maybe explain the background to this? Because I think it helps to understand that a little.
Well, yeah, he said, what are your thoughts on a CCQ event having automatic buys built in the structure? So PBG, with their series that they're having, they had one in Dallas. Before each of these large events, the most recent one in Denver, which was a CCQ, PBG partners with lots of LGS across the country to host tournaments, and PBG provides prizing for it. The biggest prizing is a buy at one of their next big event. They also have like play mats and card sleeves and probably packs and things like that. And the store can put up their own stuff. So these are great little events, and it is essentially what the CCQ and the DLCs and the Continentals are for Lorcana. It's that on a smaller scale, right? On another scale. And so when you have rules from Ravensburger that say like a CCQ needs to be a certain number of people, because Ravensburger understands that if we had a 24-person CCQ here in St. Louis where winner gets to go to Continentals, that's a little unfair compared to the 500-person CCQ they have at Charlie's or something like that, right? And so it just, if we understand that there needs to be fairness, I think that allowing buys based on what there are, as far as I understand, there aren't as strict of rules, or at least Ravensburger aren't overseeing the rules of these PPG queues, right? that qualify you to the PPG event.
Right.
They're not overseen by Ravensburger, and so it's just, think of it like this. What if I hosted an event? We hosted an event the size of PPG, right? 25K, 500 people, or I mean, PPG was only like 200 or so, but big event. But we say that instead of like winning a buy in some of these small events, what we're going to do is we're going to award buys to pro players and the biggest players. That we're going to invite people. We're going to invite DKP to come to our 25K, and you get a buy, right? Like a VIP pass, essentially, right? You get the wristband that lets you hang out with the cool kids or whatever, right? So is that fair? Because it's basically me running an event where I just get to give my friends, a better advantage towards the prize. So I just, obviously that is not exactly the same as what PPG is doing, but
I think I don't really think your take is that hot. I mean, honestly, like I think it's right. Like, in my mind, think about, which we don't know, it's total speculation, but right, the CCS is doing these events that are all building up to their own kind of invitational. What happens if that invitational is a CCQ, right?
Yeah, now you didn't know you had a chance to qualify this whole time.
And so
invite only.
And so it's invite only. I mean, I honestly would kind of be surprised if that was something Ravensburger would do.
Right.
But I think that is in the same context of the discussion we're having. And I ultimately think like what you need to have is, flat fairness, that people they all have a fair shot of competing for that, and you may argue like, well, some players are better. So, you're not going to make the entire game fair, but when you stack the deck, that you could go, like, having a buy is a huge advantage.
Yep.
In these,
it can also be pay to win too. Because if you, like I said, you could travel to a place that is smaller, that has a smaller CCQ or a qualifier for the PPG thing. The other, you raised a good point though, Vince. Like, when did they announce that Denver was a CCQ? It was only like 3 weeks before it happened, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't even think I think like,
were there even any qualifiers left to get a buy to what now became a CCQ, or was it only the people who had already gone to one of these events earned a buy because they thought they were just going to PPG Denver with their buy that they won at their local game store? And now it's a CCQ. that's even a whole other thing, right? So I didn't even have time to go to a store and possibly earn a buy like everyone else did because I didn't know about it until last minute. So yeah, I'm not a fan. Not a fan.
Brad, got anything to add?
No, I think you guys covered it pretty well. And I just honestly, when it comes to all the tournament structures or whatever, I am not as in tune to it. So I don't think I have anything that I could legitimately add. I think you guys covered had really good points on each of it. So or each of you. So
Next
I
question.
can't talk. Yeah. Next question is Jackalope Spam. Do you think Ravensburger should add cash prizes to large official events or keep it to promotional items only? And I to me, I thought this was just a simple question to throw in. I think that's fine with promotional items. I don't think they'll ever just because of the stigma that comes with cash prizing and everything and the gambling that I think promotional items are always going to be the way they go, and I'm fine with that. You guys,
I don't. I mean, here's the thing I'll say is that if you're a company like Ravensburger, even with Disney support, what would you, from a business perspective, aside from gambling and everything, what would you rather do? Would you rather put and like have reputational things with your brand by putting a cash prize, or call up your printer and be like, hey, I'd like you to print, 2,000 of these 0.02 cent cards that will give out.
They get splurge on the $2 cards, bro. They have 25 grand's worth of budget to work with here. They like 500 golden Mickeys where they meticulously, made sure that they were all PSA 10s or whatever. That cost them like what? 5 grand, 10 grand, they fly some people out to the factory and they inspect them with a jeweler's loot or something. Like, I mean, it's got to be cheaper. So yeah, Vince is right. They don't need to. They never need to. So why would they ever do that? I'll take it
because
because
the intrinsic value, the intrinsic value of like a 2-cent card to them is nothing, but to us, and when you look at the secondary market for these cards, huge. And as I will say, is like as long as that secondary market continues, which I see no reason for it not to.
Sure.
I honestly I see Disney's a hot brand, Pixar's a hot brand. Like these are people that are fighting over collectors. I mean, at Gen Con, I literally saw folks negotiating at the booth for like a $10,000 deal to buy 2 cards that were exclusive to Worlds and NA Continentals.
Wow.
And it was just like, oh, wow.
You know what they weren't buying was DKP's 1 of 1. He said he's getting buried with it. He told me he wouldn't sell it even for $1 million. I was going to say,
but he's also playing it, but that's not it. He's playing the other golden Mickeys on stream.
The 1 of 1.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. He's got a price.
Nope.
He may not tell us what the price is. Man's got a price.
He said he doesn't have a price.
Yeah, Ed even calls BS on that a little bit too.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But
Ed looked at us and he was like, he's got a price.
Yeah. I like to think he keeps it forever, but yeah, I think we covered that one pretty well. Moving on to Lucas, he asked, "What is your best quote unquote heart of the cards moment?" And he clarifies it: a moment where you were all but certainly losing when you drew exactly what you needed to win. Andy, do you want to talk about Thursday night?
Thursday night.
I'll remind everybody about Thursday,
okay.
Or I'll remind you and tell everybody about Thursday night when it's game 1 at Bodex, when I'm running my Blurple into Amethyst Steel, and it's going to game 3, and it is a grueling game. We're going back and forth, and finally the board gets wide. I do everything I possibly can to clear his board. It is 19-16, and I have win on board. He top decks a dock, plays the dock, doesn't have any cards to discard, draws 2 cards, finds a white rose, wins the game.
Oh, I mean, that's just like a regular old Thursday for me. Yeah. I don't even know what you're talking about. The only moment I could think of was early on. It wasn't even the heart of my cards. Unfortunately, it was my opponent, but it was fellow teammate Jimmy, Laws of Heroism Jimmy. if you will. We were playing a draft at collector store, and I was getting smoked by him. But I had him. I thought I had him in this game. I was like, I got this. I did what I could. I quested and I passed. And he top decked a spell book, and he played the spell book and quested for 1 and went to 20. And I was like, no, very devastating. But
God, I love that card.
it's like, goat for the win, spell book for the win. Now it's White Rose for the win. It's pretty good.
Yep. I had one. Go ahead, Vince. I'll finish.
No, go on.
Say this past Monday against Justin's Emerald Sapphire, I needed a Hades and Hades alone to take away his winning lore from the board, and I got that one. But to answer Lucas even more relevantly, and you can see this happen on stream at Grapes Games. I was playing Lucas at, I think, the last set championships that Grapes hosted, and I was playing Jaflurple into his Ruby Sapphire, and I had the exerted Jafar. I shifted the Jafar. I croquet malleted the Jafar into his manor to get it exerted. And then I don't remember exactly what I did to find a sale at the end of the game, or on the draw, to draw that one card that I needed for the Lord Jafar. And it was one of those things, was like, this deck worked. Like, it just, everything aligned to allow me to win that game in a matchup that's really tough. Ruby Sapphire was prominent and dominant, and watching it or playing it on at the time, and then watching the stream back, it was just like, whoa, that was one of the luckiest and coolest plays I think I've ever had in this game. So that was when he asked that question. I'm like, well, I have an that includes him, so I wanted to mention that one as well. What about you, Vince? You got any memories of a top deck that saved you?
I mean, not none that like come to mind. I'm sure there's a time that like a goat came in clutch,
Yep.
or a B prep came in clutch.
Sure.
But I'm trying to really like think. The closest that comes to, and I think it was a game against Andy I had, where I just kept finding like the answers to his board. We were playing a Fortuna.
Oh yeah, you drew like 3 Medusas in a row.
Yeah, Medusa was like just Medusa. Oh, well, it was also like Tremaine were in there too. I think I had Tremaine's too,
ladies and
which is a card Andy loves.
Of course.
So he loved seeing it come out.
Oh, that's great.
But yeah, I mean, sometimes you get the luck of the draw, and sometimes the cards you want to see you just don't see. And we have any more questions, Brad?
Yeah, one more. It's kind of a segue into what I wanted to talk about in the main segment. This is from a new person on our Discord. Thank you for joining, Mr. Repo Man. They asked, do you think there could be more decks represented in the meta? I have a feeling that many people stick to what's popular for fear of experimenting with something new and failing. Take Ruby Steel, for instance. It has plenty of removal and now has consistent, reliable card draw, which was the main thing that was holding it back. It can swarm just as quickly as Amethyst Steel and is as natural counter to both Amber Steel and Amethyst Steel, and can quickly overwhelm Lavender, which is Sapphire Amethyst, also known as Blurple decks, and with multiple bodies to constantly quest with removal to follow it up. I could see Ruby Steel being a sleeper hit, and other odd ink combinations could also rise up if people would give them a chance. What do you think, Andy? I know you have thoughts.
Well, I'm just going to start off by saying I encourage people to be creative in their deck building. I encourage folks to think about things, to test things out.
Yes.
But I also just want you to remind that there's this story of 2 mice in a lab, and one wants to try to take over the world every single night. And he comes up with some elaborate plans. And those elaborate plans never work. He never takes over the world. So my point is, you're not going to take over the world with Ruby Steel, I don't think. I just... what are you looking for? Brad's like looking around the room.
No, Emily popped in here to get the cat out.
Steel.
The cat was
Ruby
missing,
Steel.
but he just reemerged. So he's locked
but-
in here with me. But go ahead, yeah.
All I can
But
think
yeah.
of is what are you thinking? What I'm thinking, Pinky? Well, I don't know, Brain, but I don't think Ruby Steel has consistent or reliable card draw.
That was where I kind of, when I was reading through this time, I was like, I don't agree with that part, but I will say that I think, I mean, maybe I'm coping as well, and you're going to say that I am, but I'm having a lot of fun with Ruby Steel. I don't think it's all the way there yet, at least the version that I'm playing. We talked about it a little bit last week. The version that I'm running is pretty much net decked from the Inkery, which I linked in the last video. I can even do it in this one as well. But there's something there. There's the Mulan package, the whole Mushu, all the stuff with the challenging ready characters I think is fascinating. There's a new power line that has
Mulan?
all the removal. That Mulan is fantastic. If she sticks, she's evasive and reckless, so she is crashing into something no matter what. But there are lots of cool things that the package, it just didn't work before, and now it has pieces to actually start trying. And I'm really interested in seeing it working. Is it going to work right now? I don't know. We don't see a lot of people trying it competitively, or at least if you look at the big tournaments that we've seen so far, the meta breakdowns, it's not on there. It's just not there. No, and to your credit, you're asking people maybe aren't just willing to give it a try, but there are so many more players better than me for sure that have maybe thought about it or maybe not. But I would think that somebody is going to crack it maybe sooner than later. But I don't know. I want to encourage you to keep trying because I am doing it too, and I'm having fun with it. It has its moments, but then there are times where it's like, what am I doing with this? This needs work. At least the Powerline Shark version that I'm running right now. Sometimes just it doesn't find my version right now does not have the card draw that you're talking about. If maybe we need to talk about what you're doing to find that, because a lot of times I find myself top decking, but it's top decking in a way that Powerline is
X on the sleeves. That's how you find that.
Okay, well, we're not going back down that
I'm
path.
joking.
Are you though? I just will say the thing that I think is really important in this current meta is the ability for card draw, right? Card draw, it's what it wins you games. You disagree?
I mean, like card draw is always great. I just don't know that card draw is like I think card draw is the same as it ever was, you know? So like, I don't know. I'll let y'all finish saying really nice things to the Repo Man, and then I'll crush their dreams and spirit.
Horizon helps out quite a bit, but it's just there's I don't know.
Lost Uninkable, bro.
Powerline sings it for free.
So expensive.
Powerline sings it for free. That's
it's
all
uninkable
Good
too,
luck
isn't
finding
it?
it. Yeah.
So was a whole new world. But
I mean, if you're shifting Powerline on 4 and singing, and then you're finding a Horizon, you still have cards in your hand and stuff. I mean, we can get on to all.
No,
of
you
this
don't. No, you don't. Most of the time,
you
I'm down to 1 or 2
present.
cards when I'm shifting. That's the problem.
You
Is
can
that,
throw them away and draw 3 more. Like you could have done that with a dock for 2, and you get 1 less card.
I'm just saying, like it's actually been beneficial too, especially at that point when Blurple, for example, in that matchup, they're sitting on 3 or 4 cards at that time because they've already replaced with Genie, or they've developed or whatever the heck that get them extra cards. Too? Yeah, take away their extra, the cards that they've drew. It's maybe it's not the right choice, but it's a choice I've made at times when I see you're holding 4 or 5 cards right now. How about we just get rid of those, because you're getting into the big hitters that you're wanting to hit me with Elsa, you're wanting to hit me with Hades and stuff. And if we're right around that 5 or 6 ink mark, like, yeah, you probably have one of those, and I'll risk getting rid of both of, since it has the choice of doing both players, that I might take that risk of doing both just to kind of disrupt your hand, because that's what, why do you guys laugh at it?
I don't know.
Well, I can hear
can you hear Toby?
Toby.
Okay, I'm gonna get him out of here. Yeah.
No.
Toby.
I don't have to get rid of Toby. Oh,
I can't hear.
All right.
Toby.
I could hear Toby, but it's fine. It was cute. It was amusing. I didn't mind it.
All right, now that we had a Toby break, and Brad has done
Toby break.
His trip to Magical Christmas Land. Look, I will say I completely agree with Brad and Vince that like cooking's fine, right? Sometimes you have to recognize that the meal you made might not be 3 Michelin star. Look, I'm not saying it's a bad meal. I first want to say, Brad, there's no coping. Ruby Steel is fun. Like the deck is
Yeah.
fun, has a lot of fun combos. Um, I think we all kind of agree the comment consistent, reliable card draw is really, really where I have a hard time signing my name to the paper in agreement with this. Um, Ruby Steel has card draw, and like it is the card draw adds on to something you want to be doing, challenging, i.e., challenging. Or I guess in the case of Steel, emptying your hand, right? Like if because you're trying to go wide, you're trying to build a big, beefy, strong board. But I just I don't think it is consistent or reliable, given the options that we have. Basically, Steel saying you have to have no cards in your hand, or Ruby saying you have to have a essentially favorable trade to make, a favorable challenge to take. And but for me, I think like it's a lot of fun. I don't know that Ruby Steel got better though. I think every other deck got worse, and Ruby Steel still got a little worse as well. But like when you take away a bunch of these cards, we ended up hitting most of the bigger decks more. And so the fact that the game is far more board based and there is far less removal for unexerted characters, it means that like playing characters who have an advantage when challenging is actually something that can matter in this game, right?
Deck allows you to challenge ready character. That's the other thing that I touched on a little bit, like
Really
Kristen's
bad
version of
characters
it.
that do that though. Like the characters that do that are
Not
so
terrible.
poorly valued. They have
I
such terrible stats, Brad. I think
maybe,
it's because
but
Ravensburger knows that challenging ready characters could potentially be a very, very strong, viable form of removal for unexerted characters. And
ter-
I also think it's why Ravensburger stripped a ton of removal for characters that aren't exerted. You look at Into the Unknown, you have to exert them still. You know, the Blurple is just Hades. That's the only thing that can get rid of stuff without having it exerted. Elsa exerts it and then you challenge into it. Into the Unknown while they're exerted. Strength is basically you got to count in Fire the Cannon, Smash, Twin Fire, Pew Pew Blaster thing. There's a bunch of very inefficient ones out there, but you know they're the same thing. They can do damage, but that's not very much, right? So there's very minimal removal that can just like straight up point and click and say get out of here. Um, for unexerted characters, and so that's why I think these characters, like Mulan, have terrible stats. 4-cost uninkable 3/3 with Reckless. I mean, you have to play this and then hope that they, you know, like they already have to have a target. They have to not remove it, and then like you have to have like a
what do you
favorable
mean they have to
trade.
have a target? She
Yeah,
can run in anything. Like she's
but
evasive.
but
So
they
like
get a
that's
whole turn to set up a
sure.
non-favorable target to you. So like
Yeah.
you play that on 4 and I've got my genie, right? Oh, that's what you're gonna run into. Well, even though it doesn't take
It
out
doesn't
the
take it
genie.
out. Yeah.
But you've wasted a turn playing medallion weights, maybe like earlier or something. And
Yep.
you know, I quest with my genie and I play a Mim Elephant. Have fun. Have fun.
Yep.
It's ready. You have to challenge it. It's the only character I got on the board. Good luck with that. Like it
Yeah.
whereas Maui's Reckless, like Hero to All, his Reckless didn't matter as much because you were playing it on the turn. You were about to use it and forcibly remove something and banish something with his rush
Sure.
and his strength. So you were in control of that. Ruby Steel has so many really fun cards. The Mushus, both of them. The like the challenging ready characters, the there's just like a ton to choose from of those damage spells. Shere Khan, you've got that whole package. You've got Lumiere to buff your strength. You've got all the rush of Ruby. You've got the whole power line and singer package that just came in and stuff like this. Tons and tons of fun cards. Frankly, it isn't there yet from what I've seen. Doesn't mean someone won't be breaking it. Tons of people, like Brad said, are out there testing it.
I just don't think it's going to be Ruby Steel. At least not this set. We'll see what happens with Whispers, but I just think I agree with Andy that I think the real problem is that both Steel and Ruby Steel was never a really strong deck to begin with prior to rotation.
Mm-hmm.
And the cards that made those inks individually strong got kind of weaker because of rotation. And so as a result, those two combinations, particularly Ruby, got much weaker after rotation. Makes it more difficult. And this is one of the reasons why we haven't seen, although I suspect it's probably the deck where likely, if there's going to be a deck that's going to come into the meta, is Ruby Amethyst. Might be a deck that makes an appearance. We'll see. I keep trying. I think Ruby Amethyst is closer to being a better deck than Ruby Steel,
and historically has been. So that's very. I think you're really right on the money there. The question was, do you think more decks could be represented? Yes, and that's going to involve everybody cooking and finding a way to beat the meta. The meta is what it is because of people find these combinations of colors and cards that just consistently work. And then what our goal, is to try to break that. So I want to encourage you, keep doing it and keep having fun, and maybe we will see like that in the meta. So any final thoughts on those?
I wanted to I'm glad you actually brought back their very first question in the question there. There could be more decks represented in the meta, I agree, but I do also want to comment on they have a feeling people stick to what's popular for fear of experimenting with something new and failing. I don't necessarily think that's true. I know we have a ton of people in our community who are cookers and brewers. I know, shout out to Alex, Lumineer Fortune, shout out to Ketchup Ryan, who crazy decks every day.
Every day.
No, I mean, I think we all agree with that. I mean, honestly, it's not even just in our community. I mean, it's in the Lorcana community. You go look on something like Ink Decks, and you could see, hundreds of decks basically every weekend, and somebody is cooking something up that they're trying out and stuff. But it also gives you a representation of what's actually working too. Like, where are decks, doing well and stuff. So you may see a really fun deck. It's like, oh my God, that looks really cool. And it got second place, but then you dig in and it was like a, 6-person event. And so you kind of gotta take, both those data points and say, okay, well, maybe we'll see. I'll keep an eye on that deck. Is that going to do better in other tournaments that come up? Or maybe I'll give that a try. And I think there's nothing wrong with giving it a try.
I think you also have to
anything else?
I think you also have to account for the people who are experimenting with these decks and just don't take them to tournaments. And you say for fear of failing. Well, I mean, you test your deck enough times. Yeah, I have a fear of failing. I tested it. It's bad. I don't want to go to this tournament and lose, right? That's not kind of the goal I have here. Unless your goal is to go and have fun, which again, I agree.
All right.
A lot of fun.
And that's it for the Constituents Corner. Thank you for everybody for writing in. First time Repo Man, thank you for joining to ask this question. Hope you stick around. Hope you like the answer. If you want your questions answered, please join the Discord. We have a Constituents Corner channel where all these questions get asked, or you can ask us on the socials, the comments below, at Rules of Villainy, and take it away, Vince.
Yeah, I'll just add too, the easiest way to get to our Discord is go to villainy.inc. It links to our link tree, and you can go to the Discord there. But we get into the main segment. I feel like we've kind of been there a little bit already, talking about this Ruby deck here, which I think is where we'll start a little bit. We'll continue that conversation on where is Ruby's place in this meta?
Bulk bin. Next question. No, our notes say, can Ruby exist in this meta? And I said no. And now
and then I said,
villain
cue the
of
curb
the
music.
week. Villain of the week.
No, it's wild, isn't it? No, because no matter what, throughout 8 sets, I guess it's throughout 7 sets, and even part of 8, Ruby Amethyst was the deck. Even when we thought, like, when they tried to nuke it, it still came back and won Continentals. Like, I think Vince was the only person who picked it on, or somebody, I don't know. It was
Probably
like in
me.
the minority of picks for Nash.
I'm good at picking.
Continentals. But it was one of those things like, yeah, of course it was Ruby Amethyst. It's been Ruby Amethyst the whole time, and now
Always
suddenly
has been.
Yeah.
always has.
always has been. But now it is not present at all, and the only time that I'm actually seeing it is in the decks where, like, I'm playing around with Emerald, like Queen of Hearts decks, or when I'm playing around with Ruby Steel. But Ruby Amethyst, at least locally, is not being played. Kirsten played a version of it this past Thursday, 2 weeks ago, I think.
How did it work out?
Kicked my butt with Blurple last week. It did
She-
not work out very
she
well.
went
She
0-3.
did get me. She got me on a round though, and it was a
game in a round.
A game in a round,
Not
but
a
it was
whole
an
round.
infuriating round. Yeah, but with a little bit of tweaking, I think it's there because since they started introducing the dual inks, the Mother Gothel, the Madame Medusa, the Hades that you were running for in your Ruby
Good
Amethyst last set
Good
is a really good card, but building around it and being successful consistently with it, it's been kind of tapering off, especially with the set. You'll ask a lot of the pro players, if you listen to their Twitter spaces, watch their Twitters, they say Ruby is unplayable. And when they say that, I mean, they have to be, I have to believe that they're absolutely certain that there's no way you can play it right now. And part of me is like, well, what do we do to make it playable? What is it? What exists that makes it? Or like,
the hard part is
like,
that Ruby has lost a lot of its removal tools.
Sure, absolutely.
And so as a result of that, so it's moved from a primarily removal based ink color to this, like, more towards this damage matters type of ink color, I feel like. But they've kind of leaned into a little bit.
That's Amethyst though. Like, Amethyst is the one that's moving all of the damage. Ruby is just like trading damage.
But this is why though I think there is a spot for Ruby Amethyst to
Finger dinger.
make a comeback to figure it out, because you're right. Amethyst is the ink color that's moving damage, and Ruby is the ink color that's creating the damage, often at your own expense. But I think there's something there. I'm not, saying I'm an expert at this by any means, because I'm not. But I'm one of the 3 folks on here who has yet to win a set champs as of yet to date. Brad
asked, what is Ruby missing? And I feel like we should all together now, 3, 2, 1. Be prepared. Exactly. That's what Ruby is missing. Next
but I think
question.
there's ways to deal. There are ways to deal with, like, I don't know.
So Ruby's
Mulan,
identity,
the shift Mulan has the ability to take out multiple characters.
Bad.
It's not
you
that
have
bad.
to shift it. How many other cards?
You don't have to shift it. I mean, you have to shift it to play it on play. I mean, she has the
you're gonna
additional
play
strength.
that outright for 6, and then you're gonna swing in with your little two.
Ideally, you're shifting it. But what I
damage.
was trying to say was her ability still goes every time she challenges, whether it's for 5 strength or 2. But which is something that I didn't know for a long time. Yeah, for 2 it's not great, but you also have all the removal or all the damage moving and stuff too. And you're right, yeah. So
it gets clapped back too easily.
I'm just saying there's mass damage happening. You got everybody's got a weakness.
So
I don't know.
Ruby, the biggest problem, and if you look at these decks, Ruby Sapphire, Ruby Amethyst, the Amethyst list, the Amethyst cards and the Sapphire cards brought the card draw. They brought a consistent ability to get the cards that you need into your hand. And then Ruby brought the removal. And Ruby has lost most of its removal. But you need card draw and you need board control or removal in order to then play the cards that help win you the game. That's why there weren't. That's why people aren't playing a lot of these really greedy cards. They're just like, that's why BLT is not like a played card, right? You didn't see Ruby Amethyst just like controlling the board, drawing cards, brave little tail, or no. I mean, like the most we saw was like Lucky Dime Tamatoa for that explosive win. But it's like, Ruby has lost too much damage, in my opinion, to be valuable enough to bring anything to the table with one of these other stronger. Steel has surpassed Ruby as the deck with the most efficient removal, as well as the remaining pieces of the puzzle. Card draw.
I also think that the removal that exists. So, like, you think about it, and while I think we can all agree that, like, I just think not having a board wipe in the game has
Under the Sea
really affected a
Under
lot.
the Sea.
That
You know what?
It's down where it's wetter. Take it from me.
I will stand on a hill to scream to the mountains that Under the Sea is not a true board wipe.
Tell that to the Amber Steel deck that just lost 12 characters off their board. And once you hold their heads under the sea, with heads held high.
Let's not go there.
With heads held high. Now
that took a dark turn. But you think about it, we've lost Brawl, right?
Medusa.
We lost Medusa. We lost Tremaine.
Be proud.
Now you Maui time.
Maui time.
Maui.
Prince Eric.
Yep.
Did you play a lot of Prince Eric?
I did in my Ruby Steel list.
That is true. I did watch him.
You sure told me.
Play that.
Not a bad lit. Not a bad deck.
So yeah, we don't have a lot of removal anymore, and that I think is the fundamental problem with the deck. I know some folks early on in the set tried to do like an actions matter in Ruby Amethyst.
Lilo.
That was like a Moyen kind of put together a deck that I played around with, and it's fun and it works okay, but I wouldn't say it's certainly not a competitive deck. It doesn't do very well against the decks that are tier 1 meta decks and stuff. No, I mean, like, so it actually does pretty decently against things like like the Emerald, the Under the Sea deck, the Sapphire,
not Baja Blast.
Emerald deck,
Empire.
Stop
Empire.
it.
Empire is that what we're calling it? I really hate this. I hate this.
What's your reasoning? Because it uses both gem
Emerald
colors
and
sapphire. Why can't it be sapphire? Why can't it be Sapphirald?
Sapphirald is fine too. I will. I could get behind a Sapphirald vote. I could be persuaded.
I'm done with both of these conversations.
Look, as long as it's not Bleen or Glue or Blarald, these are all used.
All right. So Emerald Sapphire. I'm going to call it by its legal government name.
Empire.
It did well. It did well against that, but that was pretty much it, and that was still kind of iffy. But partly because things like the Lumiere can buff up your characters.
So good, dude.
Can buff up your characters out of
Lumiere's good.
Under the Sea range.
Every time Kirsten played
a really good deal.
Played Lumiere 2 weeks ago, I was like, man, I missed that card. He was in my Ruby Fossa, and he did work. He was low key in MVP, but he buffed up characters, better trades, or to protect them. Just God, he's good. It makes me want to play Ruby, but Ruby is unplayable right now. Apparently,
it's better than Skater Mim and Scar. So, like, obviously, Scar has its like great extra ability in Steel, but 5 cost, uninkable, way later in the game. It only gives your allies +1. But then the Skater Mim is only on Challenger. Lumiere 2 cost, just giving everything +1. Pretty good.
Helps dodge Sisu drop too, and just those.
Yeah, and that ability stacks too. So if you can get another Lumiere down,
Yep.
Then
You
your
know,
other
fuck
Lumiere
everything.
becomes a 3-2. Yeah.
Yeah,
Both
yeah.
of them do.
So it's quite nice, very nice.
Very nice.
All right, so we talked a lot about Ruby. What you know, so are we still on the same page here, the Ruby Unplayable, or do we think there's hope for? We said no hope for Ruby Steel this set. At least that's the consensus between Andy and I. Brad's
I like to believe.
Brad's tinkering.
I like it, but I don't know that I'm going to do enough work to make it anything outside of just,
Brad is saying if you build it, they will come.
Yeah. If you build it, I will come. I'm not a good deck builder, so if you build it, I will come try it out because, like I've only made minor tweaks to the Inquiry deck that I net decked, but other Ruby deck. Go ahead.
No. I was just gonna say, where we at? Ruby Amethyst.
Ruby Amethyst might be able to do it.
Ruby Amethyst, I think. I mean, it's always gonna be. I mean, for God's sakes, our Mickey's sake, our mascot, Ruby the Amethyst Dragon. For Gantu's sake, Ruby the Amethyst Dragon is our mascot.
Oh,
she needs Ruby Amethyst to succeed, to keep that fire lit, So
I feel Ruby Amethyst is that one deck. It's like Night of the Living Dead. It's just the fist coming out of the ground and stuff and it's just, we laid it to rest a while ago.
No,
we talked about it.
It's fundamental. Like I said, removal and card draw. That's Amethyst and Ruby. The problem is they just nerfed Ruby a little too much, and now Steel has become the dominant one. As far as it being played, I think we are sort of at this point in the meta where we've seen 2 or 3 weeks here. This is an accelerated meta, right? We're at 8 weeks instead of 12 weeks, or 10 weeks instead of 12 weeks, or something. Set champs are coming right around the corner. Next week, 1 week from when you are listening this, you will likely be playing a set champs.
At Impact Gaming Center in Fairview
hopefully
Heights,
at Impact
Illinois.
Gaming Center, yes, on October 4th. But we're at this point where the decks are relatively solidified, and so now there is a very large group of people like our new friend Repo Man who are potentially in the kitchen cooking these lists, trying to find something that isn't necessarily like the best deck. It's not like the strongest overall deck, but it is something that will disrupt the status quo. We already know exactly what a lot of these other decks are going to be doing for their game plan. And so if you can plan your game plan out in such a way that it disrupts that every single time, now you've got something there, right? It's similar to Zan with his Jafar deck being very, very poised in that meta that he played it in that one Arkansas tournament that one time that probably didn't matter. I think it was right before Worlds. But it's the same reason we can see lists it's very common to what Illuminator Fortune Alex does. I feel is tries to find these combos, these lines, these plans for a deck that are playable, maybe not the best overall, into everything that exists, but they are very specifically crafted for what you expect to see in the metagame, and they take advantage of that. And so I think I don't want to sit here and be like Ruby is unplayable, because someone's going to win a 10K tomorrow probably about with a mono Ruby deck wins 10K or whatever. I'm going to end up eating my own shoe or something, right? But
you heard it here first. Andy eats his shoe.
I would just say though that even if somebody does, this is one thing Illuminator Fortune will say about a lot of his decks, is that even if he does well with them, he won't recommend that you play them.
I was gonna mention that.
And I think that's one thing to keep in mind.
They're bad.
That
some of them are bad.
Well, but you
They're
also have to
exactly.
you have to fundamentally go in with a game plan that you fully understand with those decks, and like if you haven't, you should go follow Alex, right after this, like,
Link
pull your
below.
car over, give him a good follow. Because what I really appreciate he does in his videos is he does like he maps kind of out what he's thinking,
Flow
and
charts,
what
yeah.
what cards are meant to counter these, and what the weaknesses are, and how you can kind of maneuver around those. And that is what these kind of like off meta call decks need. If you're going to do that, you have to fully understand and commit to all of the permutations that are going to be thrown at you, so you understand that. And so those are decks that cannot be net deck without really fundamentally understanding that you're going into a similar meta, and that you fully understand the decks that are being played.
It's like the triple deck that we saw.
What's that?
It's like some of the triple deck lists that we saw. They're crafted for a expected metagame, and they can be tough to play. You really have to understand them. I agree.
Yeah.
So I think we could see some of those. We're in a position where those are about to happen, and then what that I think will do is someone will win with this weird off meta deck that is crafted for their meta. It'll be an amazing meta call, genius build, great cook. But what will happen is there's like, most of the time there is like a very easy answer to this off meta deck that wins or does really well, that all of the other decks can be playing, right? And so it costs all it does is it takes like Blurple, Empire, Amethyst Steel, all these they all just like add this one card in, or they just like change one very small thing, and now they're completely protected from this like weird rogue deck that took them down at the last tournament, right? So that happens a lot, and so I think we won't see this deck take over the meta. It will disrupt the meta, and the meta will slightly adapt for it. You'll find one at your locals. You'll get annoyed by it because you haven't seen it, or you'll be like, "Oh, that's really cool," because you did see it and it's neat. But
you'll see this too, because if you look, I think Inkdex does this really well. You can look into like the archetypal breakdown of decks, and it'll list out the percentage of decks that have this card in it. And what you'll find is like there are staples in like a Blurple. Like every Blurple deck is playing 4 of Hades, right? Like that's just a card that gets played for the most part, and stuff. But not, there are cards that people might tech in, say like Genie Supportive Friend, right? Or that'll put into that deck.
Too slow.
And my point is saying whether or not you think that's good or not is irrelevant. The point that matters here is that there are options that are really easy to adjust, that everybody doesn't play these same things. And that's what makes a deck like Blurple and in Amethyst Steel and Amber Steel so real effective right now, is that they've got a lot of cards they can play. There are key core cards that they have, but there are cards that they could say, you know what, for this meta, I'm going to play this. And,
a lot of options.
And maybe if they've got that optionality to them. And so, and that what I would say is like going back to our previous conversation about something like Ruby Amethyst, is I think some of these other decks that we haven't seen in the meta right now, if you do find them, I actually think what will happen is they will have less optionality, because if they had more optionality, we probably would have seen them earlier.
That is true
in the meta. And with that being said, it's like, if you're like really sick, it's like, oh God, I'm so tired of running into Blurple. I'm so tired of running into like these like 3-4. Don't worry about it. It's gonna we're gonna get a whole new set here very, very shortly. It's gonna shake up the whole meta game. And we're gonna have more cards to the card pool. And it's just gonna be a whole new ball game. And like, low key, like we do know that there's a whole new mechanic coming out. So we know, we know that there's a lot to be changed. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that one is it's not a leak. It's not a leak. They've shown
They showed pictures of it officially. We just zoomed in and enhanced those pictures.
Yeah, zoomed in really, really good.
So
But yeah,
I tend to agree, Vince. I just kind of wanted to expand on what you were saying with like the optionality and stuff. I honestly feel like that is what makes this metagame kind of nice, is that both in decks like Blurple and Emerald Sapphire and Amethyst Steel, possibly even in Amber Steel, I haven't played it as much. All of those decks have, like you said, expected cards, but they're you can build them in very different ways. Amethyst Steel is one of the biggest ones, in my opinion, where you can run cards like Cusco low to the ground, trying to draw cards, trying to gain a little bit more lore, or you can run a bunch of evasive on your turns, like the Smee, the Helga, even the Dragon Genie, and lean into Dumbo a little more. Go a little past 5 ink, even play not just Elsa but Belle, maybe even Vincenzo on 7. Like if you really want to play a little bit of a longer game and try and play a little more mid-range. Blurple has been incredibly fun to try and experiment with some of these other cards. We talked about it last podcast, Camilo. I really, really think Brad found something spicy there. That card is being slept on hard. Anyone who doesn't respect it loses to it, and anyone who does respect it because they've already lost to it, I mean, like, okay, you wasted on my 6-drop Camilo, and I can do something else now.
I was curious about this. Fun fact: so in ink decks, right? And obviously plenty of decks are not being reported here, but in tournament play, 1% of decks have Cameo Madrigal and an average of
In
1.5
Fabled
cards.
metagame?
It's about 2 in the Fabled metagame.
So
But
how many
that changes
total?
in the next
Deck.
couple of weeks.
1%
Not because,
out of how
not
many
necessarily
total?
because. Yeah.
How many decks is
Of all,
1%?
it
doesn't tell you.
It's all, but it's basically all Blurple decks that are on.
Right,
the
of
site.
all Blurple decks, how many, 1% have Camilo. The question is how many Blurple decks are on there? If it's 100, then only one of them does. But if it's, 10 million, then there's still a lot of people running Camilo. If they don't tell you, they don't tell you. But I think Camilo is spicy. And then Radigan. We didn't talk about
I'm sorry,
it
they
much.
do tell you. It's 560 decks.
560 decks. Okay, and then you have to count how many of those are like not like true like meta competitors, and they're maybe like a little more fun franchise decks or just like something weird that someone put together. But the other one I don't know that we talked about as much is Radigan. That Radigan, another Mayor official TM spicy card. That just like I can't tell you how many
4%
times.
of decks.
4%?
4%.
A little more popular, but I can't tell you how
Justin's
many
even
times.
running him in Baja or in Empire. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I
that's
said it for you. I said it for you. He's
So,
running it as a one of and said that it does
I'm not
work.
saying that.
exactly, because I can't tell you how many times you hold on to that in your hand, and as you're both trying to like control / gain some lore or whatever, you play that, you ink, and you are guaranteed 4 lore in this meta. There are only like circumstantial situations where you can actually lose it. If it's the only character on board, a B King can get it. If they double Heads Held High and then Under the Sea, it'll get it.
Which I guess you could do. Like I've seen those Baja decks have like 20 ink. It's usually the last play of the game or whatever. But yeah, if that combination ever happened, double Heads Held High for an Under the Sea on your Radigan, I will eat your shoe.
Yeah, congrats to them. Like, you deserve that win, honestly. At that point. But Radigan, I did it to Kirsten earlier today. We were testing, and she had like 11, and I had I guess I had 13, and I had an Elsa and a Hades on board, and she had like 6 lore on board or something. She had more lore on me. It was the turn where I was supposed to play my Hades or my Into the Unknown. I was supposed to play a bunch of clapback cards, right? And go back at her. And I had the Radigan in hand, and I went, I'm a quest for 3 to go to 16, play this Radigan, ink a card, pass the turn, and GG's. That's it. Game over. I win. It's done. Like there's you need to win this turn or it's over. Like so.
Yeah.
Um,
He's been a one of Spice in my Blurple for since I guess last set is when he dropped, right? So most of Reign of Jafar, but then now with Blurple, as I continue to play around with it, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna throw some more Ketas in to try to get to him faster. I'm actually gonna throw more than one Radigan in so I can try when I'm at the place where I can play him. I have the chance to.
Rough, but
Yeah,
maybe. I mean, it's inkable. It's inkable. That's the other thing.
it's inkable.
You don't
Yeah.
need it. It's inkable. It's just like Big Tammy. You could always just ink it. And the other thing is, the other crazy part is both of these unknown, unique, less than 5% utilized spices that we are selling to you to put in your spice cabinet in your deck, they go together. They mix like salt and pepper. They're beautiful because you play a Camilo and then they obviously Hades your genie because they don't respect your Camilo. Then you play the Radigan, quest a Camilo, 5 lore. That's 1 from the Camilo, 4 from the Radigan. Send it back to your hand. You don't even need to ink this turn, baby.
Yeah.
You don't
And,
need to
I
ink
did that
this turn,
too.
baby.
And
It's a lucky time.
speaking of selling, if you don't have Cameo or you don't have Radigan, you can go to partner.ccgplayer.com/ROV to pick up those cards.
Get them now
Put
while
in
they're
your
cheap.
deck.
They're gonna
And
win a
get 'em
DLC,
now
I'm
while they're
telling
cheap.
you.
Yeah.
Won't cost you anything, gives us a little bit of money, helps support the channel. We appreciate it very, very much.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's gonna win a DLC. I'm telling you. Camilo, Radigan, those are good
And it's
cards.
gonna be me, baby, Milwaukee, coming for you.
All right. Anything else before we move on?
No, I was gonna
All
mention a couple other Ruby decks, but we'll save it. You're blind. Or
Next
you're
up.
blind. You're muted.
He's trying
Next
to do
up.
his silly
Next
underworld
up,
voice.
would you stop it?
Villain
We're gonna move on to
Villain of the week.
Brad. Take it away.
All right, apologies to Gantu. From Reign of Jafar, set 8, we have Basil, Undercover Detective. Basil, Undercover Detective, 7 cost inkable, 5/4, quest for 2, Dreamborn Hero Detective, rare card, incapacitate for 1 ability. When you play this character, you may return chosen character to their player's hand. That's chosen character, not any restrictions at all, just chosen character. And interfere whenever this character quest, chosen opponent discards a card at random. Art by Stefano Spagnuolo. I think Spagnuolo. I think I.
I'm sorry
right.
about that.
Before we
Apologies if
start,
did
though,
it.
I gotta say this might be a spicy multiplayer card.
This is a great card. In the matchups
why?
that I've had,
Just because of the chosen opposing.
That's chosen
'Cause you
opposing
can then
discard.
chose.
Yeah, usually the spicy.
You want to like every.
each.
Yes, I get it. But this one, what's nice about it. This is why I say it's
Nothing's nice about
kind
this
can
card.
be spicy
This card is mean.
in multiplayer. Is that a lot of times multiplayer can be like Survivor.
So you vote
And
someone
you
out.
can-
You
yeah,
can,
so you, like
everyone gang
so
up on
you could-
Vince.
Yeah, you could be like, hey, I can take care of that.
Yeah.
I can empty their hand with this.
And that's what happened to me at Fortuna like a month ago. I had the game-winning lore on the board like 3 turns in a row, and everybody's like, "No, we gotta take care of him in some way." And
Honestly,
I got
that's
picked
what we
on.
should do. That's what we should do sometime. We should do a multiplayer game with all 4 of us. Me,
Should.
you, and with villainous Kirsten. That'd be fun.
What we should do right now, though, is talk about this card.
Bend to my will in my
No, you won't.
multiplayer deck.
No, you won't. That
Because
is
it says
mean,
each
sir.
opponent discards all cards in their hand. I just realized that's an each opponent. And
This card.
you
Disgusting.
instantly for all of you
I play the game. You
audio
don't.
listeners, and he was just doing the Mr. Smithers
Mr. Is it Mr. Burns?
Burns. Yeah, Burns.
Mr.
Yeah.
Burns, yeah, thank you.
Yes, Smithers.
But yeah, Tell me more about why this card's our villain.
This card is showing up in every Baja Blast deck that I have seen. That is Worlds. No, not every.
No, we're not allowed to say that term.
Oh, I'm sorry. Every Empire deck that I have
Let's go.
Recently, including Monday night against Justin, I had so many predicaments where I'm like, okay, I have the choice of this card, which he's already done his duty by sending a genie or something back to my hand because it's chosen character. It's not any restriction.
Duty.
And then on top of that, yes, I said duty. Thanks, Andy. We are a juvenile podcast now.
Got him.
And then if he gets to quest, at the time that he gets the quest, you probably value every card in your hand and you don't want to discard either of them. Justin was hitting me with those. So when I had the opportunity to Hades something, I was more than often choosing this one, even though the John Silver is on board, giving whatever I have on Reckless.
That's rough.
It's a tough choice. The choice alone, the fact that he gives you a choice, like which one, what do I value more here? The cards in my hand, the card on my board, or it just, and he's shiftable. So now there's the Basils that are.
He's not
Basil's not
shiftable.
shiftable. That's the
Not
other
this
Basil.
one. I'm so sorry. You're right. I'm so sorry. I was confusing
He
him
can
with
be
the other
shifted
one.
on top of by the other
You
Basil.
could be
I
if
don't
you
know
want
do
to.
that, but
If you want to do that. for
Also,
some reason,
you
but
read the
don't.
card.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
just read the card like 2 seconds.
When I thought about this earlier, I thought he was the shift one.
Yeah,
You're
Brad.
right. I did just read it. I didn't think about it.
explains the card.
Hey, it's 10 after 11. I've had something wrong with my neck literally all day. If you haven't seen me acting like Michael Keaton as I'm turning my head with my whole body this whole podcast, it's I've just been suffering all day and trying to wrap this up with how much this card has been a pain in my behind this past
Apparently, pain in
past
the neck.
week, basically.
Literally.
Pain in the neck.
A pain in the neck. Yes, literally. It's because of this card.
So how many of 223 decks on ink decks? How many decks percentage wise have this card
Of Empire decks?
of Emerald Sapphire decks?
Probably like 80 plus. Easy.
Yeah, easy.
Brad,
Let's say 93.
so you're the closest, 95%.
Yeah, it's
Of
it's
decks.
Like, I feel
really
like it's not
good.
count. There's got to be like a bunch of the. Yeah, I don't know. It's tournament decks. It's tournament. I know there's a lot of people experimenting. Teammate Eddie, shout out Eddie. He's been cooking or mixing. He's a mixologist, I believe, by trade. But he was doing the Oops All Shift, right?
Not this
another
card.
one.
Remember when I said this was a shiftable card?
That's the point. This card isn't in that version of Empire.
Oh.
It might be still, but there is also the Oops All Shift version of Empire that has like the Baymaxes, the hero, the set champs hero, right? This one that gives all your cards with cards underneath them ward and evasive. You've got other cards that do that I can't remember at this moment in time. But there's also like the ward, more aggro version of Emerald Sapphire that again isn't great, but still kind of exists and gets tinkered with a little bit. But they probably just don't get registered at big tournaments, it seems, for those ink decks numbers. Yeah, this card is the 4 willpower doesn't matter because like cards like Fox. Imagine if like Fox still existed, this card would be a lot less impactful.
Sure.
Because you'd be able to trade something like a Fox into it relatively cheap. If I have found that if you are playing like with cards like Skater Mim, that being able to trade something like a Rafiki or Captain Hook into this is like incredibly good. But
You know what else beats him?
what?
Captain Hook and Lumiere.
Yeah,
Ruby
Captain
Steel,
Hook and
baby.
Captain Hook. Lumiere plus we've got the Mulan.
There you go. That does
with
it.
Reckless.
That does it.
The Basil doesn't even get the chance to quest and go into to take a card from your hand.
All right. What about the artist?
Are we done with the card? Anybody else? Yeah. Yeah.
I think we're done with the card.
Sure.
Yeah,
we
the
can be done with the card. It's not that great of a card.
Are you kidding me?
It's all right card. It's all right. It's single target removal, right? That's just what Empire is trying to load up here. Ton of
Yeah.
ink, just as much like poke at your
Not
crap
getting
as they
behind
can
that.
do.
Not getting behind that. And we're calling it by its legal name, Emerald Sapphire.
Empire
but yeah.
today.
We have, moving on to the artist showcase here. We have 16 cards in the game. That's 14, but with one epic and one reprint. The epic is the Max Goof in Ruby, and the reprint is the Phil in
Rockin'
Steel. Rockin' Teen, indeed.
I don't have that card, but I also
You don't have it? I have it.
I don't have it
but
with me in front of me. I mean,
I don't have it in front of me either. Yeah.
Basil, I want to point this out so that I can refer back to this later. Basil is a detective, and we know that next set, Whispers in the Wells, has Judy and Nick, and they are detectives, and there's detective synergy. This card only gets better. It only gets better with new sets. I'm telling you.
Yeah, there may be
here. You've heard it here. It is only going to get better. I don't think it's going to get better.
Detective synergy is
there might be. There are classifications here that they could mess around with. Like Whispers in the Well sounds like a big mystery, and maybe your detective characters are going to have
totally as an aside.
Brad.
Yeah. Totally as an aside, you think Mickey Mouse Detective gets?
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Oh, does it? Maybe.
Do you think along with Popsicle? We already know Brad's got a Brad's.
I'm telling you.
Brad's roommate in college was is like married to like the sister of the Nick Wilde's voice actor.
Artist.
And they said that Popsicle Jason Bateman, right. And they said that Popsicle is definitely getting reprinted in Whispers in the Well for Zootopia 2 in theaters.
I am very confident.
Sometime soon.
But it's November.
Yeah. November. It's November.
Yeah, soon. It's so soon. I'm so excited. I'm so hyped.
Yeah, that's so good. I've actually met Judy Hopps on one of my Disney races. But anyway, back to their cards. A lot of the Goofy, we have the power line, the 2-cost for Singer is, and then of course we talked about the Max Goof. The Hiram Flaversham, but not the one you're thinking of. The 3-quester, 2-cost, uninkable, also in their repertoire. We got a bunch of racers with Candy Drift, King Candy, Fix It Felix Jr., Bobby Zimarewski. I forgot to mention that with the Goofy movie.
What up, Bobby?
What up, Bobby? Leading Tower of Cheesa, dude. But yeah.
Did you say the Fix It Felix?
I did say Fix It Felix.
Oh.
I'm gonna fix it.
I'm gonna fix it. but yeah.
All right. Well, you let us know your thoughts on this villain of the week. We hope you've enjoyed this episode like you enjoy most of our episodes. If you're joining us on audio, please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen.
And if you're joining us on YouTube, which if you're not, you really should. We have a lot of fun. We have regular size cards. We have giant cards as well.
Whoa!
Which you can win again.
No,
like
you
I
can't
said.
win. You
Oh,
can't take this. It's Kirsten, so don't get mad at me. Be sure to like, subscribe, ring that bell icon. Join us October 4th. The Elsa Set Champs Extravaganza ×2 working title. We will see you all there, either in person or on YouTube. You better be there.
Yeah, and join me on stream for the Glass City Showdown this weekend at twitch.tv/Legends of the Inkwell. We understand your time is valuable, so we're spending a little bit of it with us. If you would like to follow along as we plot our devious plans, consider following us on our socials. We're on Instagram, Blue Sky, and the platform formerly known as Twitter and TikTok at Rules of Villainy. We also have a growing community on Discord, which you can join with the link below.
And until next week, stay safe, fellow villains. Be wary of those wannabe heroes who want to disrupt your villainous plans. And as always, remember the rules of villainy.